Unsyndicated presents Shep and Sean, featuring Matt Shepard and Sean Belegian.
Shep, I don't think anybody needed the reminder. I know you didn't. I know I didn't. I really don't know of many people that needed the reminder. But the NFL is king. I just wanted to bring that up. The NFL is king. It's 48 hours before a dumb schedule release show is on television. A show that we can make fun of and call dumb, but I will have on. Chances are you will have on.
100%.
And that is what everybody wants to be talking about is some of the schedule leaks that are out there right now. It's incredible. The NFL wins and wins and wins and wins.
Who are you looking forward to seeing the Lions play most? That's a hard question because their schedule is loaded with the Ravens and the Bengals and the Steelers. That's just traditionally Washington, Philadelphia, Kansas City. Hi, Tom. I mean, think about that. Hi, Eric. Those are some premier teams. How many primetime games are the Lions going to be playing in? A lot.
No doubt about it.
Well, of those teams, give me the team you're looking forward to facing most.
Philly. Beyond a shadow of a doubt. Philly.
Absolutely. See, I think the Rams thing is past, okay?
I do too.
After going back to Detroit, I think it's over. Washington, okay, you want the revenge, I guess. Maybe they've played Kansas City. They've gone into Arrowhead and won. I agree with you. I think it's Philadelphia because I want to see what Detroit's defensive line does against that really good offensive line.
For what it's worth, Shep, there have been a few leaks. I don't know what's real and what's not. I saw the Steelers are the Thanksgiving Day opponent. We've seen that a few times.
I like that.
Life. I don't mind it. Shep, I'm kind of a traditionalist in the regard that I wish it was a divisional rival. I'm not going to lie.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
That surprises me.
But the Steelers, I remember Robbie Martin when I was a kid. Mm-hmm. And who can forget the coin flip fiasco? It's just unbelievable. So I don't mind that at all. The opening game, I unfortunately I've heard various reports about that it might be this team, it might be that team, and then so it was NFC North team, and then week 18 against the Bears. So that's what I've heard. More and more will come out tomorrow. The NFL knows exactly what they're doing. They're going to give us, it's like that drug dealer, Shep. I'm just going to give you a little bit. This one's on me, Shep. I got you.
I know that story. We both know that story.
And cheddar sausage, Shep. This one's not me, okay?
And I shrugged as soon as you said the Bears at 18. I kind of shrugged my shoulders, and then I got to remember, with Ben Johnson there,
you got it.
The storyline is absolutely appropriate. Now that'll be the second of two meetings, so it may be old by then, depending on how Chicago's doing. I love the intrigue. So you're right. I mean, the NFL is king. We sit there and we're going to watch for it. But when you see the different look, J.J. McCarthy might be the court. Find me a game on the Lions schedule that makes you yawn. You got two Packer games. Enough said, okay, because nobody likes the Packers. With two Vikings, there's J.J. McCarthy. Two Bears, it's Ben Johnson and their offense that's really good. You got the Rams, the Chiefs, all the ones we've already mentioned. You don't have to really say much. Can't wait for how are they going to stand up to Joe Burrow, right? Yeah. What are they going to do about the elusive Jackson moving his way and weaving his way through Detroit's defense? Oh my God, Lamar's going to on his way to his third MVP. There's so many different storylines that you're going to be able to associate as we get ready for the Lions season. It's going to be awesome.
Yep, no doubt. Holy crap, Tigers all over the Red Sox. Yeah, I joked about it when I put the thing out. I said Tigers just scored again. Sean, blue is a good color for you, as long as it's the right tone of blue. Eric?
You would call that Carolina blue.
This is more like Carolina blue. Or one might say Stevenson blue. That one might say that.
I don't know many people outside Stevenson who would say that, but okay, go ahead. Thanks, Bill Belichick.
Tim said, "I like the Packers." Yes, there are a lot of Packer fans like Tim up in the UP, and Shep, I'm with you. This is what's weird about this schedule. And again, I'm always the guy to say this, so let me first preface what I'm about to say by saying this. There's probably going to be a team or two that we thought were going to be really good that aren't good on that schedule. I don't know who they were, okay? But last year, as I sit here today, Shep, on May 12th, I don't see a Tennessee Titans. I don't see a Jacksonville Jaguar. I don't see that team that this schedule is a bear. And yes, I know last year's schedule was a first place schedule as well. This schedule is unbelievable, at least when we sit here on May 12th.
No, I agree. The over-under number of wins is what? 12 and a half?
I saw 10 and a half.
10 and a half.
10 and a half. 10 and a half.
If all things considered equal, and I usually hate this game because a lot depends on the health of a team. But you and I both know, we've covered enough training camps to know going into a training camp, you probably, of the 54-man roster, you probably know 48 guys.
Yep.
Okay?
Yep.
Knowing that, without a surprise, they stay healthy. Would you take the over or would you take the under?
I would, Shep. I am not a betting man. I just something I did many, many years ago, and I just don't do anymore. I would put a minimal amount on the over, and when I say minimal, I mean a very small,
like you're talking about 11 wins.
Yes, yeah. I would do something like that. Yes,
they ain't going 15-2 again, right?
No.
I don't.
No.
The schedule is just so flipping challenging. This really is the equivalent to an SEC schedule.
Oh, yeah.
If you're looking at it from a collegiate standpoint, this is as hard a schedule. I don't want to get too dramatic here. It's as hard a schedule as I've seen a team play.
Yep.
Not just the Lions.
Yep.
I mean, that is absolutely gut-loaded with quality opponents.
I don't have any problem with you saying that, and I have no argument against it. And at the end of the day, Shep, to me, I don't care. I mean this. I don't care if they go 11-6. I don't care if they go 12-5. I want to win the division, but I think we're all on the same page now. The ultimate success or failure of the 2025 Detroit Lions will be what they do or don't do in late January and February, right?
Without question. Yeah, without question. They were undefeated on the road last year. The only undefeated team on the road last year. They're not going undefeated on the road this year.
No, sir.
The weakest team, I was looking at their schedule. Obviously, the schedule's not released, but their opponents. And I'm thinking, the weakest team, Browns, yep. But there's hype there. Mm-hmm. You and I both know that. So Browns is one of them. Giants, might be some hype there too, considering Carter and Dart, depending on what he does. I mean, he was so good in the exam. He was the only quarterback to get 100. And then the Cowboys. Mm-hmm. But you might consider them as a bounce-back team. They just traded for George Pickens. CeeDee Lamb, going to be tough, right? Prescott.
Is Dallas here this year? Is Dallas here this year? Or is it road? I forget.
Dallas
For some reason, I think Dallas is here, aren't they?
Dallas is home.
Yeah,
Their home teams, they play the Bears, the Vikings, the Packers. They play the Cowboys, Giants, Browns, Steelers, and Bucks.
Yes.
Now remember, I don't have to remind you, I mean, Baker Mayfield threw for almost 5,000 yards last year. He threw 41 touchdowns last year. They can move the ball without a doubt.
Yeah.
Stop Detroit. But those are the home games. The road is an absolute gauntlet.
It's incredible.
Yeah.
There isn't a break. I mean, again, on paper, okay, mm-hmm. This is the National Football League, and if we learned anything, one or two of those teams are going to be bad. And Shep, what's important to me is when do we get Cincinnati? Because if we get Cincinnati in the first 7 weeks of the year, we're okay. We're okay. They become the greatest team in the history of mankind, and nobody wants to play Cincinnati late November on. So you know how that works.
This is a good question from Tom. Will they play overseas this year? I would. I mean, why the NFL? If I were the NFL, I'd be scheduling them overseas. They've been overseas once, right? But if I were scheduled, was it a couple times? Okay.
Yeah, a couple times.
I- If I were scheduled, I'd definitely send them over there. I mean, they are so red hot.
Yeah.
I mean, and it's not just Detroit, man. I mean, there's an allure to the Lions, because of how they play as much as anything else. I believe.
Didn't we if I know we beat Atlanta in that crazy game where they missed the kick, but then got the do-over. I think we got crucified before everybody got let go against the Chiefs, right?
Yes,
Remember that? I mean, it was just a massacre, and everybody was let go, of course, except for the coach, which
that's the one I remember. I had forgotten.
Lion logic. Lion.
Well, it's there. It's real. You've lived it. Yeah.
What's the window for Detroit now? 2 season. Yes, it's about health. I'll take Detroit on over healthy and to win the division. I think the window's larger than that, and it's because of Brad Holmes thinking ahead and playing chess.
Thank you. I don't believe in windows.
No. The moves he made for this draft, Shep, weren't for this year. They're for 2 years from now.
Yeah, I've said this time and time again at nauseam. I don't believe in windows. The Bulls had a huge window. The Cowboys had a huge window. The Patriots had a huge window. The Niners had a huge window. I think if you're doing things the right way, and Sean said it best, the way Brad Holmes drafts, the way this team develops, I truly believe this team can continue to be a contender for a long time to come. I'm not going to put windows on it. You want to call it a door? You want to call it a garage door? Go right ahead. I just don't believe. I think they are going to contend for a long time with him in charge, because I think he builds the teams the right way.
I'm telling you right now, you win a Super Bowl and I'm done. I'm checking out. That's it.
No, you're not. You're not.
Listen,
you host at least 2 podcasts a day. You will host 5 a day.
I will drink so much. That might be it. I'm just going to go off into the woods like Nebuchadnezzar. I'm going to turn into a cow for 7 years. And then one day I'll walk back into Babylon and they'll go, "Hey, isn't that our king? What happened? You were like an animal in the woods for 7 years. Beard and long nails and oh my God.
Eyebrows crawling out. Caterpillars. You got hair coming out of your ears.
Full Nebuchadnezzar. I got no problem with it.
Here's the beauty, though. You'll survive. And the reason you'll survive is because you know how to cook brisket. So you can shoot everything, and you'll cook it out there in the wilderness. There's no problem with Grizzly Adams. Grizzly Adams, my ass. It's Grizzly Sean.
I'm doing it. Good. I'll get the beard fully going. Hey, if you're ready to take charge of your financial future, look no further than the Wealth Advantage Group, located in historic downtown Northland, owned by those 2 guys right there. 2 brothers, very handsome, I might add, with over 20 years of industry experience. They understand that your financial goals are as unique as you are, and that's why they offer personalized expert guidance to help you navigate the complexities of financial planning. Now, whether you're saving for retirement, you're getting ready to sell a company, you're already in retirement, it doesn't matter where you're at, because these are guys that can, as they've done with my family, help you through every step of your financial journey. They work with clients throughout all stages of life. They have clients in over 20 different states now. The investment world is a complex one. If you're ready to take your finances more seriously, call those guys. They're great guys. They'll take care of you. They have been successful. They'll be successful for you. It's the Wealth Advantage Group at 248-773-8574. Check out their website, www.thewealthadv.com.
They got good smiles. They're good people. They're good neighbors. They eat brisket in Sean's backyard. Here's my question for you. I think I need your expertise. Is there a time where this city has had a collection of these 4 high-quality coaches that you can recall? And the reason I say that is because A.J. Hinch recently won his 900th career game as a manager. It's not a huge milestone, but only 74 other guys have done it. And he was a runner-up to Manager of the Year last year. Well, he finished a distant 4th or 5th. J.B. Bickerstaff was a runner-up this year. Dan Campbell was a runner-up this year. Todd McClellan, as you know, is very good at what he does. I interviewed John Forsland last week, who I think is probably the best play-by-play guy in the NHL. He's phenomenal. He said Todd McClellan.
Guy too.
He really was. Thought it was a home run swing to get Todd McClellan here. Think of another time, Sean, where we've had this collection of 4 teams where they've been this good.
I would go to 87, Shep, and this is I'll sit back. I'll say Jacques Demers, Sparky Anderson, Chuck Daly, and who can deny the genius that was Darryl Rogers? Because as you know, what does a guy have to do to get fired around here? No, I hope you can sense my sarcasm.
And as you know, we went out and covered him at the Silverdome, and he was looking up at the top of the Silverdome on the practice field. Look at all those pigeons. Have you guys noticed all those pigeons up there? Don't pay attention to special teams, Darryl.
Nah, don't need it.
Start counting the number of pigeons.
Don't need it.
Idea.
Don't need it. Nick said, watching the Tigers, Skubal had a perfect game going. It's the most fascinating thing in sports when you can sense crap happening. The booth announcers don't even go near it. Talk about mindless bleep. And I don't even text one soul. It's the biggest jinx in sports. He was, Shep, that performance the other day.
Oh.
Honestly.
First of all, I don't know why announcers even come. I mean, why not mention it? Look, I hate to tell people this. You don't have that much power. That's number one. Number two, Spencer Turnbull threw a no-hitter in Seattle. I called the game. Mentioned no-hitter a number of times during the broadcast. Didn't ruin it. I'm not that powerful. Who's ever calling the game is not that powerful. Keep people informed, please. It's really important. But go ahead.
Honestly, Nick, I'm glad you brought that up. Shep, I think you and I both don't enjoy the overstatements. That was such a dominant pitching performance. It was insane. And I know everybody's going to point to no-hitters and perfect games. And my son and I were at the game. My goodness gracious, I can't believe it's 18, coming up on 18 years ago when JV got the Brewers. But Shep, you want to talk about absolute dominance. The heater that this guy's on, with the crescendo being his last start, is otherworldly right now. I hope we all sit back and realize what we're watching out of this guy.
Yeah, I mean, you have 50 strikeouts and 1 walk in 7 starts. That's unbelievable, right? I mean, it's I don't think it's ever been done. We've seen dominant pitchers before, and we've read about them too. I mean, if you are ever worried about that, go look at Bob Gibson, 1968, June and July. He did something nobody will ever do, and Tarek Skubal won't do it. 12 starts, 12 complete games, 12 wins. Just go look Baseball Reference and check it out. It'll blow your mind. But the beauty is that he's a strike thrower. They know he's throwing strikes. He gets ahead of hitters right away. So it's first pitch strike, really important. Keeps you off balance and challenges you. You know, and here it is. I dare you to hit it. It's as dominant a pitching performance during a short period of time as perhaps we've seen in a Tigers uniform since Denny McLain in 1968, perhaps. I mean, sure, Verlander and Scherzer had some, but this is pretty special. But with each passing win, each passing strikeout, and each time that ERA goes lower, that number goes up. And it may be the elephant in the room, but I'm going to tell you something right now. I read an article from Jeff Passan at ESPN a couple of weeks ago. He's looking at the $100 million contracts that are upcoming, the $200 million contracts, which is Riley Green, the $300 and the $400. There's 2 guys in the $500 million contract range, okay? Kyle Tucker being one of them. The other dudes, the $400 million, Skubal and Paul Skeens.
Yeah.
And that's what he's going to ask for, because that's what he's worth based on what's going on in baseball. And remember who his agent is. His agent likes to take his guys to free agency. He is going to get a pile.
Mr. Boris. Yep. Shep, like, honestly, and I'm probably low on the number, but I was just talking about this morning. 8 for term might be too low, but just for the sake of an argument, 8 for 400. Like, don't be surprised at that. Don't be surprised if that is.
You're right.
If I'm Scott Boras, I walk in, and this is what a nice guy I am, Shep. If I'm Scott Boras, I am such a wonderful human.
Well, you are a nice guy, Sean. I get that. I'll give you that. Yeah.
Well, but Scott Boras, if I were Scott Boras, I would be a really nice guy, and I would print out all the numbers and contracts for every pitcher in the top 5 and hand them to the team and just go, honey, baby. Yeah, I mean, Shep, really, what a wonderful position to be in. I mean, he's going to set the market. It's just that simple.
Yeah, I mean, look, one of his clients is Garrett Cole. Okay,
Yep.
I think Patrick Corbin is his client. Scuba beat the crap out of Corbin the other night in a lefty on lefty matchup. Patrick Corbin last year made $35 million. So there's a going rate, okay, and it's not Max Fried and it's not Blake Snell. It's going to be over $40 million a year. He will become, mark my words, Tarek Skubal will be the highest paid pitcher in the history of the game.
It's insane. Hey, when it's time to get yourself a house, you're buying, you're selling, oftentimes both at the same time, you need to contact the right agent. Oh, boy, do I have a recommendation for you. That lady right there, Lindsay Broadwell. Your house is probably the biggest investment that you will ever make, and that's why you need a pro. Lindsay grew up on the mean streets of Northville and has expanded her team all over Southeast Michigan. She's an expert in all facets of the business, and when it's time to move, our friend Lindsay and her staff will make sure you get the most out of your house and everything goes smoothly when finding your new home. Buyer, seller, first-time buyer, doesn't matter. You make sure that you contact the pro. Lindsay at BroadwellHomes.com. She'll help you with everything from start to close. Licensed realtor at Real Broker LLC. Start your search today at BroadwellHomes.com. Shep, I'm glad you brought that up. As Henry, another one of our friends in the UP, said, Tigers got to lock up Skubal soon because the longer the Tigers wait, the more the price go up. I don't think the average human being understands, Shep, what is going on right now. And this is a guy that is going to reset the market. And there is a very, very good chance that this man is going to walk away. I don't think that the average human being understands it. I really, truly don't.
Well, they should. And if they don't, that would be a little surprising. So here's what I would ask you. Garrett Cole is a Scott Boras agent. Mm-hmm. He took him to free agency, right? So he signed with the Yankees when he was 29 years old. Skubal's got 2 years left. Garrett Cole got a deal worth 9 years, I believe. Was it a 9-year deal? $241 million, something like that. He's making $36 million a year, Sean. Okay. Mm-hmm. My question to you would be, let's say he takes him to free agent. He's 30. Okay. Garrett Skubal is 30 years old. And he wants 10 years, $450 million. You do that?
Of course I would, because it's not my money. I mean, you know what I'm saying? Yeah. Now, I
wouldn't do it. I wouldn't do it. I don't want a guy pitching at age 40. I don't want a guy that I'm going to have to pay $45 million at that age, knowing that. And I think he's phenomenal. So this is not a knock on him by any stretch. And God knows I've been wrong before. Don't know if I want a guy who's had 2 arm surgeries and that late in his career.
You know, though, Shep, those contracts are basically given out for what you provide in the first half of the contract. I mean, we lived it with Miguel Cabrera. Anybody
that's what I was going to say. So therein lies the perfect example from a Detroit standpoint. You're giving them for the first few years or first half of the contract, then don't be bitching about it at the end, right? Because that's what you want. Okay. Right. So I think it's a really tough spot for any team, not just the Tigers, for any team. And this is why I've said for a long time, this is the difference between, I hate the big market, small market crap, right? I mean, Miami is a huge television market, but people call it a small market baseball town.
Right.
It drives me nuts. But anyway, this is the problem you have. Teams like New York and Boston and San Francisco and the Dodgers and the Angels to a certain extent, even the Padres, the Cubs, they can spend that money, Sean, and miss or afford to have to eat the back end. Teams like Detroit and Milwaukee and Kansas City and Cincinnati, they do that for their franchise player. If that franchise player doesn't live up to the majority of that contract, because I don't think any player could, it's going to be really hard to swallow.
And I think what it's going to do is it's going to show us, Shep, as you know, the late Mike Ilitch would say, I'm going to have some Eggs Benedict this morning. And Davey, why don't you get on the phone to see if we can go re-sign Victor Martinez or go get Prince Fielder. I think this is going to tell us what this ownership is going to be as well. Are we going to be the Guardians, who I have a lot of respect for the Guardians, but they're not winning a World Series. They might make a little noise. They might win a series or two, but the likelihood of them winning a World Series, the model for everybody, Shep, the smartest manager in the history of mankind, the greatest scouting system ever in Tampa. Tampa wasn't going to win anything. As great as Madden was.
They got there. They got there with really good pitching too. I wouldn't have known. I can't tell if they're going to win anything. Boston spends a lot of money, Sean. They don't win, or they haven't won in a while. Yankees spent a lot of money last year. Did they win? Nobody spent more money than the Mets. Did they win? No.
Okay, but Shep, you find me that team below 21 that makes that run and goes and wins. It just doesn't happen. That's the reality of it. You know it.
You're right. I just don't think spending money equates to winning. That's all.
Not always. Okay? No.
But and you bring up Cleveland, and it's a really good example. What's that?
Not spending enough money does equate to winning.
Absolutely. I mean, that's well put. You bring up Cleveland, they do have a superstar. They got a better player on their team he's better than any player on the Tigers, and Jose Ramirez.
Mm-hmm.
The difference there is he's willing to say, yeah, $23 million a year is enough.
Yep.
I'll make 17. I think it was like 17, 18, 23, 23, whatever. Okay. You're not finding that here. You're not going to find that. I doubt. I would be stunned. I would be blown away if Derek Skubal actually went in less than market. And Scott Boras might fire him as his own client. Say, you know what? I don't want to represent you anymore because we could have had a lot more money than this. Not like he needs any more money. But I know exactly what you're talking about. I think you do have to spend. Where that is, I don't know. Okay. Right. But it's got to be more than what we've seen. I think that's 100%. Fair. I think that's fair to say.
Yeah. Hey, did you know thousands of Metro Detroiters have already called legacy partners? Maybe Tiger Management should do this because they can get savings and help with their home and auto insurance, huh? Our friends at Legacy. What about that, Mouth? Our friends at Legacy are one of Southeast Michigan's top independent insurance agents. They provide a full-service, one-stop solution for all of your insurance needs, personal and business, large and small. Legacy has helped our listeners by fixing mistakes other agents have made, asking the right question to get the right coverage put in place to properly protect you, and help save you some money. Chances are, if you haven't checked your policies in the last year, you're probably paying too much and you could be underinsured. What are you waiting for?
Probably about it, man. They're absolutely paying too much. You know that.
To help with your home, your car's life insurance, whatever the case may be, call them 586-209-4106 or visit legacypartnersins.com. Henry just told us the Caps just scored, so it's 3-2. I cannot believe how bad the Caps have looked the last two games.
How much of that has to do with being Carolina?
I think a lot of it, and that's what I'm going to get to, because you know what? You want to change a narrative about yourself. Don't talk about doing it. Just go out and do it. And that's what Freddie Anderson is doing right now. Freddie has been playing so damn well. It's amazing.
I don't think Logan Thompson's been that bad either.
No, he hasn't. And Shep, to be honest with you, if you remember, I picked Carolina out of the East.
You did. I know.
With their goaltending. But when this series started, I was like, I don't know if he can match Logan with as well as Logan played. And he's out playing Logan right now.
I'll give you credit. You're right. I forget who you picked out of the West. I picked Colorado out of the West and Tampa out of the East. I was really close. So you had Carolina. Who'd you have out of the West?
Vegas.
Oh, yeah, that's right. That's been a good series.
That damn defense core, man. They're just, so before we get into that, poor Maple Leaf. You are watching Florida just lean on Maple Leaf. And that forecheck yesterday, you could see it happening. It's like that cumbersome burden that's on top of you, and there was not a darn thing they could do about it. Mm-hmm. And look, there were questions about their quote unquote toughness, and more in particular the mental toughness. But when you allow Florida to play their game, you're playing right into their hands, and I think that's what happened in particular in Game 4. I just that game yesterday, they just
a heavy game. I like watching Toronto. They're not done by any stretch, man. I mean, I still think that series could go the distance. Hey, real quick, before we keep talking on hockey, Nick said it's difficult for me to comprehend how much $450 million is. Me too, unless I lived in Sean's neighborhood. But here's the thing I would tell you, Nick. Remember this,
That
just
was coming.
real quick. The reason we bring this up regarding Zach Wheeler is making $42 million. He's the highest paid pitcher, unless you count Shohei Ohtani at $70 million. If you're Scott Boras or you're the Tigers, or I should say at Tarek Skubal's camp, and you go into the Tigers, you think you're pointing to Zach Wheeler?
Yeah.
I that's the reason I say the 45 per year, because it's going to increase. If you're them, are you not going and saying, hey, just out of curiosity, how much does Jacob deGrom make? Oh, that's right. He makes $37 million. How much does Blake Snell make? Oh, that's right. He makes $36.5 million. Sure, he's a two-time Cy Young Award winner. My guy's going to win it for the second time. How much does Corbin Burns make? He makes $35 million.
Yeah.
These are the guys. You don't have to bring up lefties. I don't need Max Fried in a $27 million contract. I'm telling you, Tarek Skubal, like you said, Sean, is going to reset the bar and use all those examples, and he will go in and he'll tell anybody who will listen, my guy's better than all of them. You want to win? Sign him, and he'll get it.
Nick said, "Oh, I think he gets the 45." Yeah, Shep. You know what it reminds me of?
It might be more. I'm just using it now.
It might be. No, do you know what it reminds me of? The summer, was it 2018? Now all the years run together. It was 2018 where it was like we were all waiting for, as funny as it sounds, Derek Carr's contract.
Yes. Yeah.
We were all waiting for Derek Carr, because again, and I don't remember who represented Matthew. Maybe you do. If I'm his agent, is the second I see Derek Carr's number, I'm ear to ear. I am smiling like the butcher's dog, because I can walk in. There is not a variable on the planet that could tell anybody that Derek Carr is a better quarterback than Matthew Stafford.
Right.
And that reset, and Tarek Skubal is going to reset the market, man. That's going to be the new measuring bar, you know?
Yeah. And rightfully so. If it continues, okay, and if he hits free agency. Sean and I are only talking about if he hits free agency. If the Tigers sign him early, and I would, unless Skubal goes to his agent and says, I want it done, like Jose Ramirez did in Cleveland, unless he says, Scott, I know you want to take me to free agency. I want to get it done. I want to stay here. That's a different ballgame we're talking about. But if he goes to free agency, I don't, even after this year, if Skubal told his agent, go get it done, I still think the start is 45 a year.
Ken Holland, rumored to be the next general manager for the LA Kings. I know what people think about it here. Yes. Elliot Friedman reported that. I know what people think about that here. Shep, he is one of the nicest human beings. I know you'll agree with me. I really, really like Ken Holland. Okay. I don't think that Ken has a good feel for today. I just don't. I don't think he's got a good feel for
about drafting wise.
Yes, I really don't. I don't think he's got a good feel for today. It was easy to try to supplement Edmonton, and they came so close. They really did. I think LA is in a different position, because there are some nice young pieces, but it's kind of a transitional period as well. I wish him all the best. Honestly, he's not a guy that I'm not just saying this. He's wonderful. He really is. Yeah. I don't know how well that's going to, there's some problems out in LA, and there have been. For a team with all the talent that they still have, to not win a playoff series since the last time they won the cup is really, really weird. But
when you're running into Edmonton all the time, I suppose that's the problem.
Something that has to be done with that as well. But Ken, especially at his age, to get an opportunity, he's wildly respected in the league. Matt, I think you know that, regardless of what your personal feelings are. But Friedman reported that about an hour ago, that they're in the final stages to lock up Ken Holland. So
this is what they mean about lifers, Sean. I mean, you can't get enough, right?
Yep.
I mean, there's just the guys they that's all they know. So I don't blame him. If that's his passion, go for it. Keep doing what you love. If you can keep doing it, why wouldn't you? Right.
Jerry said, I hope Skubal doesn't pull a Max Scherzer. If the opportunity presents itself, there's no doubt in my mind he will.
Okay.
No doubt in my mind.
So I'm assuming Jerry looks at that as a negative. Okay. Sean, you're great at numbers and years. I don't recall the contract offer to Max Scherzer that Detroit supposedly said, but I can tell you this. There was one day Anibal Sanchez had signed his contract. And Scherzer was coming off the field, and he and I had a really good relationship when he was here in Detroit. As a matter of fact, I had him on for the first. I was the first show for him to be on in Detroit when he signed with Washington. And I said to him, I said, "What'd you think?" And he says, "Shep, they've made their choice." And I knew he was gone. Why would you hold it against a guy who can make a lot more money signing in Washington? I'm not sure why we would. Would you sign for more money? If you had a chance to go somewhere and somebody's going to pay you an exorbitant amount more money in Washington or anywhere, would you, I mean, as an athlete,
I don't blame you.
You have to at least explore it, don't you?
No. And it was after, correct me if I'm wrong, Shep. So it was after the 14 season, but wasn't it Mr. Ilitch made a really, really good offer and they thought that Max was going to sign and then Washington went over the top? And I'm sorry, that's business. Until something's signed,
Yeah.
that's business. I think that's how it
recall, yeah, I don't recall the numbers, Sean. I know in Washington it was backloaded. So it was $17, $18 million the first couple of years. Then it skyrocketed to 34, 35, $37 million in Washington. The Tigers' offer wasn't close to that. So he backloaded it to help the team early, and he made a slew of money at the end. And
he was, Shep, I'm not saying I knew him as well as you did, but I got a chance to know him a little bit, and I had him on back in the day when we were both at the Fan, and he was incredibly shrewd with his money. He was one of those guys. Yeah. He was looking, like Brett, we were talking about Brad Holmes, he was looking a couple moves ahead.
Oh, yeah.
And things like that. He knew what he wanted. He knew what he had to do, and he eventually went and got it. So he was very, very good with his money. There's no doubt about that.
Scherzer, didn't he want to be paid more than Verlander? Maybe. I don't recall that. Okay. I mean, there was a report, and I'm almost positive it was Chuck Daly when he went to Orlando as the head coach. He wanted $1 more per diem than Pat Riley. So if we're going to get nitpicky about certain players, just remember there are certain others who we've been very fond of, and they have little nuances associated with them because the ego is large too.
I will take one less rib than Shep if they're Dirac ribs. If you Shep, hey, go right ahead. You can have the whole. You make your St. Louis. You give me Dirac ribs, I'm fine. I'll take
as long as you're cooking them, Sean. That's all that matters to me.
Oh, dude, you got to come over. These Diracs are the best. There's nothing like it. Honestly, I'm not joking. I'm not sure I'll ever make like a regular rack of ribs again. Dirac pork ribs are, I can't even explain it. It's just like, listen, if you can't cook,
mouth is watering right now.
If you can't cook for yourself, it's graduation season. And I wanted to do all the cooking. My wife was like, you're out of your mind. All About Catering LLC is a full-service caterer. They got your back. Graduations, weddings, bridal showers, corporate events, anything you need catering for from 25 to 4,000 people. All About Catering can and will take care of you. They did 2 for us. They will do it for you as well. Customer service and satisfaction is the number one goal. So don't sweat your next big event. Just go to allaboutcateringllc.com today to see all their menus, their 5-star reviews. Give them a call, 586-731-1398 to get your event started. Shep, let's be completely honest too, and I don't care who I offend here, all right? It isn't your son's graduation. It isn't your daughter's graduation. It certainly isn't your graduation. It is your wife's graduation. It's her party. It's her. I said to my daughter, I said, honey, you give me 24 hours. I have 3 smokers in the backyard. I could make up 100 racks of ribs in no time. Yeah, Dad, I love it. Yeah, Dad, I love it. There's no way you're doing that at her graduation. Now, the key words are her graduation. You are not making ribs.
You understand why, though.
Of course.
Everybody wants to meet you. You can't meet them with black rubber gloves, a hat on, and an apron, and with barbecue sauce spilling into your bearded chin.
Simultaneously with a dip here.
Right.
And
she's only trying to help She's only trying to help you, for crying out loud. Why don't you look at it as a box?
Welcome to the homestead, fellas. I can hit you over the head with this shovel because I'm from Livonia, or I can hit you over the head with this shovel because I'm from Livonia. Welcome from a humble abode. What you do? When's your race on? You know, I mean, just go full NASCAR on everybody. All right, Shep, you ready? Are we done? We're done. Oh, NBA draft lottery. Shock.
Of course you're shocked. It's 1.8%. They had. I mean, did you think it's fixed?
100%. Why do you think Dallas? We had to make it up to Dallas. We had to help the king in LA, and now we had to make it up for Dallas. Yes.
Listen to me. I'm going to tell you something. When I saw San Antonio and Dallas left, I thought San Antonio's going to get it again.
Pop.
Timmy.
It's Pop going away present. Like, oh, jeez. The NBA. It's fantastic.
The El Jefe's going away present. He gets Cooper Flagg to go with Victor Wembanyama.
Right. Exactly.
Stephen Castle. And suddenly they're going to be, everybody wants them to be the dynasty.
Right. Hey, bud, always a pleasure. Make sure you check out Shep's morning show. He actually talked sports. No, seriously, he really does. He talks sports. It's unbelievable. See you guys. Take care. Keep up alive. Bye.
Good to talk.
Shep and Sean, featuring Matt Shepard and Sean Baligian. Executive produced by Sean Baligian and Todd Losey. Theme song, incidental music, and related sound effects are from Still Alive by Anti-Ghost. Engineering, mixing, and graphic design support provided by the Unsyndicated Podcast team. Don't forget to like and subscribe on all your favorite channels. While you're there, be sure to rate and review the podcast. Call the Unsyndicated hotline at 248-237-3257.